good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Welcome to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. It is July 1st, people. We're in July. I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick and then get to my guest. Friday, I spent the day with my lovely friend, Donna Morales. I love her to death. She's like my girl. She's helping me with a bunch of stuff in the acting industry, you know, going through headshots and helping me with my reel and just, you know, she knows her stuff. So she's nice enough to do that for me. And we had I made my artichoke pie and she put out a lovely charcuterie and it was lovely. Had a little wine. It was a beautiful day with my girl, Donna. So thank you, Donna. And I can't wait to have you over by me. Saturday, I went out to dinner Saturday night for my sister-in-law, Nicole Canistraci's birthday. Yay. And that was lovely. Mom and Dad went, and my sister and everybody. My daughter was there, and it was great. And Sunday is laundry day. I always do laundry on Sunday. And then last night was the screening of Pancakes and Syrup. And that's Tom Daddario and I. He plays Tom, and I play Sophia. And we filmed that actually right here in front of beautiful Paradise Studios in Massapequa. And there were over 200 people that showed up, a lot of fellow comics and people that were in the movie. And it was lovely. We had a blast. So shout out to Rob and Tom. And that is Candace Kane. And my own Carmine is there. And... hello? Griffin. Sorry, Griffin Bell, right? Yes. Who? Yes. Okay, good. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. Griffin, just met Griffin last night. Candace Kane came out to support. Thank you. And my girl Kathy Arnold was there. And my friend Ozzy was there. And there were a bunch of people there. So the movie was great. And everyone loved it. Thank you. And Murdered by the Mob, just going to say, Murdered by the Mob. There I am as Bunny. It is. There's the website. Thank you. MurderedbyTheMob.com. Go to the website. See when our shows are going on in the city at the Iron Bar. It's the longest running murder mystery show in Manhattan. And I'm excited to be part of that. And I am going to get to my in-studio guest because I had this man on my show 5 years ago when I was at another studio, and I said, it's time to bring him back. Yeah. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a comedian. Frank Fiella is in the house, and he plays my on-screen husband a lot. Yes. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you for having me back.
I'm glad to have you back, because like I said, it's been a while, and you and I have accomplished so much in the last 5 years. Things have changed for us.
Yes,
all in a good way, thank God.
Yes, amen.
You know, career-wise.
And it's fun playing your on-screen husband.
Yes, a lot of people think we're actually married.
They do. We have this natural
banter,
chemistry and banter, and I mean even just before dealing with something in the back room.
He's yelling at me,
and she's telling me what to do, and I'm saying it's just.
Anyway, he's yelling at me, and Bob
I was
like,
not yelling at you.
You two sound married. I'm like, I know. We just got it. Anyway, so I want everyone to get to know you, anyone who doesn't, you know, but you grew up on Long Island.
I did.
Right? You went to Calhoun?
Yes, Calhoun High School.
Yeah.
And class of 85.
Yes. So, and in school, were you into sports or were you into the theater?
No, I was not into theater, and I tried out for the sports teams. the football team, it was walk on, so everybody made it. I didn't get to play very often, and then I tried out for the baseball because I really loved baseball, but
Yeah.
I didn't make the cut, as they say.
All right.
It happens.
All right. Yeah, because usually it's either sports or theater, any
Yeah, no.
chorus or whatever.
Yeah, no, none of that.
So, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, did you have aspirations as to what you wanted to do for a career?
I remember being a little kid and saying that I wanted to be a cop. And
Okay.
I remember standing out. I lived on a cul-de-sac. At the end of the cul-de-sac, which crossed with the street, I would stand there and direct traffic. And if there was a car came by like every hour.
Right.
So I would direct traffic. And there were a few people that would drive around, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of
Yeah.
them would stop, and then I
Yeah.
would make.
So you went right into the police academy after school?
No. I tried college for a minute.
Okay.
It just wasn't for me.
Right.
I worked on Wall Street for about a year.
Okay.
Hated it.
Okay.
And sorry, Dad, but he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, and it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, I worked in a dry ice factory. I cut dry ice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. I was a Teamster's job. I was
Uh-huh.
I was 19, and I was. What was it?
Go ahead, 19.
I was 19, and I was probably making like $26,000 a year. So I was,
That was good money back then.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was good, and that lasted about a year,
Yeah.
and then I almost cut my finger off on
Yeah, I was
the
going to say,
bandsaw.
that could be a very dangerous
Yeah,
job.
because they would cut the ice for the airlines, so they were called Ogdens because Ogden, I guess, did the food.
Right.
So it was a small square that you had to make.
Right.
And so you have to cut it really close, and I wasn't paying attention, and I cut the thumb, and then after that, my dad got me the job on Wall Street.
Right. Right.
And I don't know which was more painful, cutting the thumb or working on Wall Street. I got to be honest with you.
And then, but you did join the police academy.
Well, then after that, I went to New York City EMS.
Right.
And from EMS, I went to
And
the
it
police
was
department.
April 1991 throughout April 2011.
Yes, I
And
did.
we have a pic. There it is.
That's a long time ago. That's
Wow, look at you. You look
that's
like a
the-
baby.
Yeah, well, I was 24 in that picture. I got in the academy when I turned
You look younger than
24.
that, though. You look like you're
Yeah,
17.
but that's a long time ago.
A long time ago. And and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And where exactly did you work? What precinct were you in?
I went out of the academy. I went to the 7-7,
Yeah.
which was the Bed-Stuy Crown Heights area.
Yeah.
So back then it was not a desirable area to work.
Not
It's
like
all
today.
gentrified now.
Right.
And I was there for 15 years. I stayed there 15 years, and people told me that was probably 14 years longer than I should have been there. But and then I got promoted to sergeant.
Yeah, you retired as a sergeant.
Yeah, and I went to the 5th precinct, which was Chinatown,
Mm-hmm.
and then for 2.5 years, and I did 2.5 years in Midtown South, which is Times Square.
Right.
And I retired after 20 in a day.
That's it. 20 and a day.
Yeah, I went to work one day, stood on the corner of 45th and 7th, and said, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Really?
So I didn't.
Wow. And then when you retired, because again, you're young when you retire. It's only 2011.
Right, I was
So
44.
what did you want to do to eat up some time?
Well,
Because-
I thought, foolish me, I was going to play golf and go fishing and,
The great outdoors.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then my wife at the time ran off to work, and I was home with the kids.
Right.
Which should have been the first red flag.
So you were Mr. Mom.
I was home with the kids. I wouldn't say necessarily Mr. Mom, but I was
Okay.
home with them for the
Right.
summer. And
Because at that point they could wipe their own.
well, they were
behinds
11 and
they were a
7.
little
My
bit
son was
more
11. My daughter was 7.
independent. Yeah.
But they still needed to be entertained.
Oh, absolutely.
So the idea of playing golf and fishing went right out the window.
Right. Right.
And then I had spoken to a friend of mine who's an attorney, and he had suggested that I try real estate.
Okay.
So I went, took the real estate class in 2011, and I became a realtor November 1st of
Right.
2011.
Right.
And
And doing it ever since.
doing it ever since.
Yeah. So, obviously, I said you're an actor, writer, and comedian.
Yes.
What came first?
Comedy.
Comedy came first.
Yes.
And we have your first, talk about first, we've got your first headshot. Nah, thank you very much. There you are.
That's got to be circa 1995.
Well, we all had black and whites back
Yeah.
then, you know,
That's like
including me.
1995,
And then
so-
then he could show up the pic, thank you, of him doing stand-up. There you are, on stage.
Yeah, I don't know when that was, but
Yeah, but again, how did
I
you...
still have that shirt, by the way.
Do you really?
Yeah, I almost wore it today.
Thank you. But how did you get into comedy? Did someone tell you
So-
you're funny? Did you take a comedy class?
Yeah, I mean, we all think we're funny, or we are funny amongst
Around
our friends and family and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Definitely.
So I had always wanted to take the class. Now,
Right.
most people don't believe this, and those that know me a long time don't remember it. I was extremely, debilitatingly introverted and shy.
Really?
Yes. And I started to notice that my son, around the 15 years age, he was also starting to show signs of being shy, and I wasn't going to have it.
Okay.
So we took the class at not Governors, at the Brokerage with Rich Walker and Peter Bales.
And Steve Lazarus.
And Steve Lazarus, yes.
Yes.
So we took the class, and from there, my comedy career was born. Nick did it for a little bit, but he was with school. You know, he was still in high school and stuff. And then what happened was he stopped doing it, and he outgrew his set because it was, you know, the jokes were more for being a 15-year-old. So he went out and did it, and I have to say that it.
See, now I know a lot about you, but I never knew the story that you did this with your son, which is really, really cool experience.
And it worked because he's got a very outgoing personality now, and he's funny, and he's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. You got
my
two great
daughter.
kids.
Yes, thank you. My daughter had mentioned about doing it as well, and she's got a very funny sense of humor as well. But unfortunately, when she was going to do it, then she got involved in something else, and she's never had a chance to do it. And you know, she's in college now, and she's leaving.
But you know, you're never
Friday
too old.
for Amsterdam.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
so good for her.
Yeah. So if she wants to do it when she comes
Nice.
back,
Yeah.
that's up to her. Maybe we'll take it together. It'll be fun to do.
Oh, that's great. Hey, listen, you know what I have to take? I have to take my first break.
Oh.
But stay right there. We'll be back. More with Frank Fiella after this. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo!
Well, hi there, Theresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Ttime on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Theresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ttime. It's July 1st, and I'm so glad you're joining me. Frank Fiella is here. He's an actor and a writer and a comedian, and he plays my on-screen husband a lot because we have chemistry together. And we're going to keep talking about the chemistry we have.
It wasn't just 5 minutes ago that we were...
No, I mean, we've known each other for years, and we're really, really, really good friends, and we tell each other everything.
Yes.
But getting back to you in comedy, so how lovely to go with your son.
Yeah.
And so he's not introverted like you were, because you know what you went through and you didn't want
horrible.
him to go through the same thing. So you take the class with Rich and Steve and Peter. Did you take one class with them?
No, we took two.
You took two.
We took the class, did our graduation show,
Right.
and then I don't think it was like back to back. I
No,
think
you
it was about a
probably
year
waited,
later.
right? Okay.
It was about a year later,
Cool.
give or take,
Yes.
and we took the took the class.
Because
again.
they say write what you know, and
Yes.
obviously a lot of you comedy has to do with you being a cop and and being a dad and and
Well,
other
actually,
things.
that's my when I first wrote that.
Yeah.
My original
5-minute
5
set.
or 7 minute set
Yeah.
had nothing to do with being a cop or a dad.
Really? Well,
No.
now it does.
Now
but,
it does.
But back then, what did you start? What did you start out with?
Well, I'm sorry. There were a couple of jokes about being a cop.
Right.
And being a rookie, and
Yeah.
then the rest was about being married.
Okay.
A lot of self-deprecating.
Done. We've
Yes.
done. We both done.
Yes.
We've done.
So now I've taken those jokes.
Yeah.
I've tweaked them
Okay.
to my current situation. I've
Right.
added
Right.
some jokes about
Good.
online dating.
He's very funny, people. Very, 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 very funny.
And what I do, like my jokes come. I try to make them from actual experience and
Absolutely.
conversations.
Yes.
So I'll take.
Oh, I'm going to be
something
writing
that
a
happened.
lot of new material after this show.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes,
I
you
am.
are.
So, how long are you doing stand up now?
I'd say it's got to be.
Because I don't know, like
Gotta
when
be
you
coming up
retired
on
in,
10 years.
Is it 10 years?
Yeah.
Because when you retired in 2011, it's like how long did you wait before you jumped on the stage? Because you're saying your son was in high school.
My son was 11 when I retired.
Yeah.
So he
And
was
then he was
15 when we took the class.
Really?
So 4 years.
Yeah,
so
that's
so
not-
whatever that
yeah.
is, do the math.
Yeah.
I don't do math.
I don't do math either.
No, whatever change you give me at the register is fine. I don't count it. I don't know. So it's got to be about 10 years. now,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
gonna be-
great. And you and I met I think we met 8 years ago.
That's about right.
Yeah. And I found you very, very funny.
Thank you.
I love your delivery. Tell everybody, because I didn't write it down here. I usually write it down here tonight, but it's Frank Fiella on Facebook.
Yes.
And Frank Fiella on Instagram.
Yeah, it's my name. It's
just-
nothing
yeah.
very original.
No,
or,
but but again, you could go look, see where he's performing, what he's doing.
Yeah,
we both aren't doing as much stand-up these days as we used to. We're doing
No.
more acting, which is what actually we prefer.
Yes. But there's something about this. Acting is great.
alive,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
do theater. I would love to do theater. I don't sing or dance.
Well, we gotta get you
so
Murdered by the Mob.
I would love to do. I would love to do actual stage theater.
Yeah.
And but when you do comedy and you hear that audience laughing,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that maybe for 7, 8, 10 minutes, whatever it is your set is, that
Right.
you've taken somebody's troubles away for just a little bit.
Yeah.
It makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. Now, growing up, who was your favorite comics to watch? Did you have any?
No,
Really?
because I didn't. I never.
'Cause you really weren't
I
into
never
it back
thought
then.
about being a stand-up comedian.
Right,
I was a
right.
class clown.
Right. But did you ever like watching any specific
I-
comics, whether
I
it was
did,
doing stand-up or maybe in the movies?
Yeah, I remember watching Bill Cosby in the I guess that was the 90s.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
But I never thought about doing stand-up.
Right.
So, and even now people say, oh, who's your favorite comedian? And I really don't have one because I don't watch them because a fear of either through transference, taking a joke, thinking it's original,
Right.
or inadvertently stealing a joke. You know,
Yeah.
I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to have that reputation. People have likened my comedy to that of Rodney Dangerfield because it's very self-deprecating.
Yes.
But I don't.
Your style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have a famous.
Right. Someone that you
someone
like
famous
to watch.
that I really watch. No.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, I wanted to know the first time you got on stage at Brokerage.
That was the graduation show.
That's the graduation show. So what you do is you take the class at the Brokerage, and then I think it's 4 weeks or something like that.
No,
And
it was an 8-week class.
Is it 8 weeks?
And your eighth,
All right, it's
the
8
eighth,
weeks. So
the
it's
eighth
8
week
weeks, and then the 8th week you
is your
perform.
show. Yeah.
So tell me about that performance that night.
I remember that because I told people that I was doing the show.
Well,
and-
yeah, you bring your friends, you bring your family,
but
you
there was
invite
like
everybody and
60
their mother.
people of the audience. I believe it was for me and Nick. Obviously, my son performed as well.
Yes, they got a double header.
And I was so nervous. And when you get that first laugh, it's like
Exhale.
It's not even, yeah, but it's sort of like being in sweltering heat, and then someone just throws a bucket of cool water on you.
Yeah.
And you just, and then it just it rolls. But back then my performance or delivery of comedy was the what's known as monologue comedy, topic, premise, punch. So it's topic, premise, punch, joke after joke after joke.
Right.
And now, of course, having worked with many different coaches, comedy coaches, Paul Bond and Stevie GB.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to name a few.
Yeah.
They helped me kind of make it a little bit more long form comedy. So
Right.
it's not just and everything kind
Bang,
of
bang, bang,
segues
bang, 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 bang. Yeah,
segues into it. So it's almost like a day in the life of me.
Right.
So
It's like a one-man show. It is.
Well,
It's almost.
yeah,
You're going through.
Yeah, but it's I wouldn't call it a one man show, but it's just evolved.
Oh yeah.
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 So
yeah. So now, when you get on stage, if you had to do time, how much can you do now?
if I did every joke that I wrote, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I could probably get 25 to 30 minutes.
All right. Okay.
However, I'm a solid 10 to 15 minute comedian, and
Okay.
12 seems to be my sweet spot.
Right.
I also, I don't venture out into audience.
You don't speak to the audience?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Unless
Okay.
somebody's, and unless somebody's like doing something, and I'm not talking about like being on their phone or something like that. If you want to be on your phone, then be on your phone.
Right,
I don't
right,
care.
yeah.
Just, but I don't participate with the audience.
Okay, all right.
Because here's why. And there are people that are very good at it.
Well, it's flying by the seat of your pants. You don't know
well,
what's going to happen.
And R.C. Smith, who was a he used to do for the Chew. He used to be the opening
Yes,
comedian,
yes.
for the Chew.
Yeah.
Joey Kohler for
Yeah,
his
Joey
shows.
Kohler's a warm-up comic.
Thank you, the
Yes,
warm-up
yeah,
comic.
warm-up comic.
If you don't know what you're doing,
you
it
have
could
to.
get away from you
Yeah,
real fast, and then
yeah.
the audience takes over the show, and you don't want that. Tugboat Manny, very good at audience.
Yep. Yep. Richie Byrne. I mean, he warmed up for Oz,
Yes,
Dr. Oz,
yes.
for many, many, many years.
So if you don't know how to do it, I wouldn't recommend it. But people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I just won't do it.
I did it when I first started out in comedy in the early 90s. I emceed a place in Jersey, and there was just a couple there, and I had to say something.
Yeah.
And it went well.
No, and
you never know how it's going to go.
I've had that a
but it
couple
went
times
well.
where I've pointed something out or. But I didn't engage them.
Right,
Because
right.
because everybody acts like when they go to a comedy show, they act like, I hope the comedian doesn't pick on me. But they all want the comedian to pick on them.
It's
I mean, look at
so
Don
true.
Rickles. Don Rickles was an insult comic.
It's so true.
And there's a guy that people wanted to be insulted
Yes,
by.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't
All right.
I don't do that.
Okay, all right.
So anyone that comes to the show, don't worry about me
Picking
on them. I'm not going to.
It's not going to happen. Does when you do stand up now, does your son and daughter come to
No.
see you?
No, not at all.
All right.
I don't think my daughter has ever come to a show.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
at all.
My sister's never seen me do stand
Yeah,
up.
my son obviously saw me because we would do shows together.
Right.
But to just come out and see the show, no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Now my ex, she used to come to all the shows. She was very supportive.
Very. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, my husband came to a couple, and then he's like, "I'm done with this."
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, but she would come to all of them, and occasionally she would say, you know what, I've seen those comedians, she didn't want to go.
Right. Depending on who was on the
Yeah.
the lineup.
But
that
she
night.
very rarely said no.
Right. Okay. All right. Oh, it's good that.
Now, as far as sex, that's a whole different thing. No, I'm kidding. kidding.
No, he's not. Oh
She's
my
an ex for a
God.
reason, right?
Yeah, we all have. I know. I can't say we all have exes, but yes, I have one myself. So I mean, that's a whole
Next
other,
question.
That's a whole other subject.
Yes, that's a whole other show.
Oh my God, it's a whole other show.
Different show.
You know what we're gonna take another break. Let's take another break because we need one. We'll be back. We'll be back after this. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of Zenkuda. You can watch me on the Soul Space podcast every Friday at noon on Channel 20 for spiritual guidance. And as you all know, that is how I first opened into my own psychic gifts, was through the angelic realm, astrology. So we've got Mars and the Sun together in Scorpio, which creates a lot of combustion. In the astrological world, we call that a kazemi, and tarot. When the Four of Cups right side up, it means we have a lot of choices to make, and we're not looking at what's really being divinely given to us. We're too busy in the busyness of the choices to really see the divine intervention, the divine timing, and the divine guidance. We're the place. Watch the Soul Space podcast.
How you doing? It's Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Theresa Canastraci Ttime with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Theresa on Facebook, Ttime with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm with Frank Fiella. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a comedian, and he plays my on-screen husband a lot. And we're going to talk about what we've been in together and show a clip because we're funny. Anyway, 2017, you decided, or 2016, around there, you decided I want to get into acting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so you parlayed your on stage.
Yeah. So
And
I
you
thought.
took it to acting, and you did a short film called Innate,
Yes.
and you played Leroy.
Yes. It was a sci-fi, sort of superhero sci-fi movie. And it was really good. And the director Yao, he's got his last name's an African name. I couldn't say it if you wanted me to.
Yeah.
But Yao, he was a great guy. He's a good director. And I wish he would have made it into a feature because it was a really good film.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that was I had signed up for Backstage online, and
Right.
I saw the
Ad.
ad. So I applied, and this is the first thing. I have no idea about acting, nothing. So I get.
So you didn't take any kind of classes?
No, not at this
You just
point.
said,
No,
I'm going to jump
do this.
into it.
I'm going to do this.
This is it.
So
I love a man who knows what he wants.
So I get the audition.
Yes.
And he says that he was doing back then it was FaceTime. There was no Zoom.
Right.
So it was FaceTime audition.
Right.
So he gives it to me for a Thursday night, 6 o'clock. I go down the basement, so it's nice and quiet, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and I realized I never gave him my phone number. So I'm like, oh shit. So I send him a message.
Yeah.
I said, I realized now it's 6:30. I never sent you my phone number.
Right.
I said, is there still a possibility? He goes, I'm doing auditions tonight. I will let you audition again tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
now I made sure I gave him my phone number.
Right.
And so I did the audition, and I didn't expect anything out of it.
Okay.
But
Well,
I
what
figured I would
kind
get.
of character was Leroy?
He was a
What
scientist.
do you have to bring to the table?
Well, he's a scientist.
Okay.
He has an older son. I guess he was about 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he's got this power. I had it, and then it was passed on to our son,
Okay.
where he could go back in time.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I couldn't do it anymore is I was going back in time to try to find a cure for my wife's cancer.
Okay.
It doesn't work out that I could save her, and I can no longer go back in time.
Okay.
But he has the ability, and it shows up out of nowhere.
Right.
And so now I got to deal with that. So
It sounds like a great short.
It was great as a short.
Where did you film that?
Some of it was in my house. Some of it was some other people's houses.
Okay.
And,
on Long Island.
On Long
obviously.
Island, yeah.
Okay, on Long Island. After that, you did another short called Matilda, and you played Father Gabriel.
Also with Yao.
Okay,
we filmed
that's
that.
nice. You see, when you work with somebody,
Yes.
they know they like you.
Yes.
They like your work.
And
work
we
with
went
me
down
then.
to I think his father had a house down in Atlanta, Georgia, I think it was. So we drove down.
Nice.
We all drove down
I
together.
love Georgia.
And we filmed that over the course of a week, and it was a lot of work because we crammed a lot into
the week.
Not even a week. It was the weekend.
Oh wow.
And I think we had to be out of there by Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, maybe Tuesday, but it was crammed in a lot.
Is that the farthest you ever traveled to film something?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
As of now.
Okay. And then after that, 2018, you did Weird Cupid, which was another short. You played Tom.
Yeah, that was fun to do. It was a little weird, no pun intended. It was about a dating site.
Oh.
Who knew? Foreshadowing, right?
Yeah, really.
And it was uncomfortable because it was. I don't really remember the whole premise of it, but it was about. But I remember that I had to take my shirt off.
Okay.
And this is not someone that really should be taking his shirt off, so I was a little uncomfortable.
Right.
Doing that, but it was fun. It was
Yeah.
what was it, 6-8 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And the guys that filmed it, I forget where we filmed. I think it was in Northport.
Yeah.
In their house.
Yeah.
And they were two great guys. I guess they were college kids.
Yeah.
And it was fun to film it.
2019 was a very busy year for you, my friend. You did Family Obligations.
Great movie.
You play Frank.
I did. That was a movie, obviously about family and being obligated to family. So,
and what I saw, I loved.
So I was playing a older person who was dying, and I had no family, and except a nephew, and the nephew, we were estranged and never dealt with the family, and now he gets wind that his father died, which would have been my brother.
Right.
His father dies, and they're doing a funeral, and then they get a phone call because my brother would have been taking me to my doctor's appointments.
Right.
So now there's nobody. So now
it's a great film.
he said now he's got to take responsibility for me, and we kind of bond over the course of the film, and then at the end.
You did a short. You played Johnny Carbone, The Usual Deal.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That was my first gangster.
Yes.
And we filmed that in Brooklyn.
Yes.
At a bar.
Yeah.
And again, a long day. It was well into after midnight.
Talking about gangster, the next thing you did was a TV series. You played a doctor that actually we were both in. And we filmed it I filmed it in Bayside, Mob Mentality, which looks like it's picking up again from what I saw.
I
on
don't know.
Actors Access. I'm just saying. But it's just something that we did.
Yes.
We didn't have any scenes together.
We didn't have any scenes together. My scene actually, they only filmed the pilot.
Yes.
And they were going to have the scene with me in the pilot, and they said, you know what, let's hold it off to the next episode, and there was never another episode.
Right.
I was not aware that they were trying to revive it.
Well, I just saw something on Actors Access that they're
well, I would love to have the role back.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Isis Dejada is the creator, director, producer, showrunner, whatever you want to call it. So, Isis, if you're listening, I would love
I'm going to try to send
be thought of.
I'm going to try to send this to her. Yeah.
For the doctor role again.
The doctor role. 2020, you did COVID Drama, which was a TV series. You played Russell.
No, that wasn't that was a.
No, that's what I have here.
No, it wasn't a TV series.
No. Okay.
No, it was a.
Was it a short?
I'm not really sure what it was. It was fun and interesting everything was shot point of view.
Oh, cool.
So it was supposed to be a dinner party.
Yeah.
And everybody. And there was some cheating going on and amongst the couples and stuff. But everybody filmed their scene. Yeah. On their own.
Oh.
And then he put it together.
That's cool.
So my daughter actually helped me.
Oh, that's nice.
She was, because there was I had to pick up the plates, so she was handing me the plates and I was putting them down and then she was giving me the dialogue.
Girl.
Yeah. And she was giving me the dialogue back, and it was fun to work with her. So
cool.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what that guy's idea was. And I think I'm not sure. I think they actually may be from London.
Oh.
The people that created
Cool.
that. I'm not sure though.
Cool.
I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry.
Detective. It says, is it Malden? M-A-D-D-E-N?
No.
Madden? A Wilderness of Error. Do you remember that?
Oh yes.
That was
yes.
a mini-series? Was that a mini-series?
Yeah, and I played detective in that, and I never saw it.
Really?
That was about
Well, there's a
the
lot of
McDonald-
stuff sometimes
well,
we do and we
I
don't
started
see.
watching, then I got, but that was about, it was about the murders, I believe it was in the 70s, the McDonald's, not McDonald's, the restaurant.
Right,
the family was the McDonald's.
Yeah,
The wife and the 2 kids are murdered.
Uh-huh.
He is arrested and accused of the murder.
Right.
And he has always maintained his innocence.
Right.
But there was a lot of weird stuff. Like there was no forced entry.
Right.
There was nothing to support him having not done. He was a military guy. I think he was also a doctor in the military. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken on that. But that was very interesting to film. And my actual scene,
Yeah.
I'm actually lip syncing.
Really?
Yeah, they did it. So I guess someone else's voice is the real. I don't know exactly. Like I said, I never saw it, but the Wilderness of Errors. Yeah. So it was an interesting story.
2021, you did Manhattan South, which was
That was a pilot.
Series.
Yeah,
pilot.
that was a
You played
pilot.
Sergeant Callahan.
I did, yes.
That was a stretch.
That was always a stretch. And Heidi Hecker was my
Yes.
on-scene partner for that, and that was funny. They wrote that scene. Chris Cardona, he didn't create it, but he helped write it and was working to get it produced. And he made this scene a little comedic because it was a crime scene.
Right.
And then Heidi was playing the neighbor who found the body.
Right.
And I'm there guarding the crime scene. So at the end, I walk over and I kind of start putting the moves on.
Right.
So it was fun.
Midlife Conversation.
Midlife Conversations.
Which
yes.
you played Mike DeLuca. That was a short, and that was with Maria. Filippone, correct?
Well, Maria Filippone is the director and the writer.
And Gina Scarta.
Gina Scarta was my
your
on-screen wife.
Yes.
So, that was a great. That actually, it's amazing how art imitates life. Unbeknownst to me, I mean that story was actually my story.
Yeah.
And and I remember there's a monologue at the end, and it was very heartfelt. And I had asked Maria to sit my wife in my line of vision.
Right.
So even though I was talking to Gina,
right.
I was actually looking at Kathy,
right.
and I was delivering the line to her.
Wow.
Didn't work because she left me anyway. So.
Don Garbaggio.
Great comedic short.
Love it. I saw it. I love it.
That's Steve
and you played
Oliva.
Frankie.
Yes.
And Steve Oliva.
Steve Oliva and Pat Marone. Steve Oliva's a great writer.
Steve Oliva, Pat Marone, and he's doing a Garbaggio
He wants to do Garbaggio too.
And I think I'm supposed to be playing the secretary or something. I don't
probably.
know.
He mentioned it to me. But Steve Oliva's a great writer.
Yes.
And this is a spoof / takeoff of The Godfather.
Yes.
And we're garbage men, and we value garbage and
it's
so
funny.
It's really great, and you know it doesn't run very long. Just I recommend you look it up on YouTube, Don Garbaggio.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's pretty funny. I know he put it into some film festivals that got picked up.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that he's going to do
Me too.
a second episode.
Yeah, because it was great.
Yeah.
All right, so your first network series was Bull.
Yes, that was my first network series.
And you played a retired postal worker.
Yes, I mean there was nothing in the scene that would say, "Oh, he's a postal worker."
Right.
But that's what they had
That's
it
what
as.
they gave you.
So I was.
Now, is that how you got your SAG?
No.
How'd you get SAG?
I got my SAG because after SAG, after Bull, I did a movie.
Yeah.
With Michael Zagan called Zoo.
Okay.
I don't believe it ever came out.
Okay.
Okay. Michael Zagan was the husband in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes.
So I played a doorman.
Okay.
And so I got that. So now that made me SAG eligible because I had the 2.
Right.
And then I got East New York.
Right.
And that made me SAG a must join.
Well, we have a pic of you and Pee Wee Herman, which we didn't put up before. But tell me how that happened. And you were on the job at the time.
I was, yes. That's in Times Square. I'm going to say probably somewhere 2010. he brought back his one-man show, the Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Right.
And he was doing that, and at the end he would come out and he would sign autographs.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was a big Pee Wee Herman fan.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Pee Wee Herman, and so he took a picture with me.
Let me see the next pick. What's the next pick? After that one, and what we got after Pee Wee? After Pee Wee Herman? Nope. The one above it? Nope. That one.
That's East New York.
Thank you. Well, that's East New York.
Yes.
That was recent.
Yes, that was April of 2023.
Okay.
It aired in May. It aired Mother's Day, May 14th of 2023.
And that's who?
That's Richard Kind.
Thank you.
And no pun intended, the nicest man
Yeah.
you could ever meet.
Yeah.
And in between takes, we would sit and talk, and he was interested in the fact that I was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience on that show. I got to work with 4 of the leads in the one scene, and it was nice. And they were all so nice. And,
how different is doing network TV?
As opposed to?
As opposed to, I mean, anything else you've done?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work because they're on a time frame, so they want to get everything done. So there's not a lot of retakes. So they really want you to hit it as quickly as possible. They'll do retakes for safety and maybe a different shot.
Right.
And they want you to be as word perfect as possible.
I know. You and I have a thing about that
Well,
because I
I work very hard to
we
be.
run lines together, and then he's helped me with some auditions, and he's like, "Got to really keep it.
I try to keep it as close.
Keep it as
as close to word perfect as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they'll give you, depending on the word.
leeway.
But like I remember in East New York, I kept saying there was a line there where I said, I just made a note, and he said you can't say just because it sounds like you just did it.
Right.
It's a previous note.
I made a note.
Yeah. So little things like that. It doesn't sound like much when you're delivering it, but then you realize it changes the meaning.
Well, that's the whole thing. Just one word. You're right.
I know with independent films that I've done, the directors have been very loose, and they're like, listen, as long as you're not, as long as you're getting the intent of the scene and the intent of the lines, we'll work with you on it.
Yeah. You did a very COVID Christmas. You played Santa.
Yes.
You played Santa.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And that was a short.
That was just a quick short. It was because of the supply chain issues that were going on with China.
Yes.
And I did that with Alex McKay.
Yeah,
and
Alex,
I haven't seen Alex in forever.
Yeah.
And we were in Chris Cardona's acting class together. And he was my head elf. I was Santa.
Right.
And of course I was, nasty, yelling, screaming, not the Santa that you would expect to see at the mall.
Oh my God. 2022, you did UFO Club.
Yes.
And then you did Sfortunato.
Yep.
And you played Salvatore Esposito.
Yes.
And that was also with Michael Fedeli.
Yep.
Correct? Mm-hmm. And
I believe he's the writer of that. I believe that was his movie.
Yep.
And I played his brother.
Yes.
And in the movie, he's a screw up. He's that one. That one family member. We all have it. As much as they tried, if it wasn't for bad luck, they'd have no luck.
Right.
And I'm not going to give it away because it's a short. I recommend you watch it. It was a great movie. Deborah Markowitz was part of that as well.
Yep.
And EJ Costa.
Yeah.
And he was in it as also. It was a and we filmed that. At least our scenes we filmed at the upstairs of the Belmore movie theater.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and it was natural because we were talking in the movie in that scene. We're talking about, hey, remember when we used to roll the meatballs with Grandpa? And I remember that. I mean, my grandfather didn't roll the meatballs, but I remember watching my grandmother and my mother make the meatballs on a Sunday and making the sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was fun. It was a bit nostalgic.
You did my sister's wedding.
My sister's wedding. I played a priest. Yes, yes.
Father Carmine.
Father Carmine. And that was done with. I feel bad. I'm drawing a blank. It's in the Garage Productions.
Okay.
Ken Frank was the director.
Okay.
And he was also was a director and writer of both that and Family Obligations.
Oh, yes, Family Obligations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we touched on. Family Obligations was a great movie.
Yeah.
I really loved doing it.
Yeah.
And I like working with Ken and his wife, Shauna.
You did Tater Tots. You played Coach Darby.
Yes, that was a student film.
Yeah.
And I play.
And they're always fun to do.
And it's actually it's so funny you bring that up because I just got an email saying that they released it on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
And I play this like yelling, screaming, militant type high school coach, and these kids are slackers, and I am not having it. And and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. 2023 again, busy. We showed the pic from East New York. You played a parole officer.
Yes, Phil Gustafson.
Yes, and then we get to It's Love, Bro.
It's Love, Bro.
And it's in Love, Bro. You and I, you can show there we go. That was, we filmed actually at my house. We filmed in the kitchen, we filmed in the dining room, and we filmed in the living room. And that is, you and I, we had so much fun.
We did.
With that movie. And the movie's doing very well. It was in a bunch of festivals. And Frank Fiella, if you scroll down, won. We were both up for best comedic performance, and it went to Frank, and I was so thrilled for you.
I know you were, and I thank you for that. But I really felt that
it
should have been
Jerry Ferretti's.
It should have been a team thing, and because you're only as good as your scene partner, and the comedy doesn't work one way. It has.
Speaking about our scene, why don't we show one of our scenes from the movie?
Why not?
All right, it's Love, Bro. Here we are.
I can't hear him.
You don't know what you're doing. You're holding it wrong.
Guys.
Okay, all right.
There, now you can see him.
Okay, hi, honey. Hi.
Guys, I can't see you.
Oh, you look great.
Yeah, we see you fine.
No, I can't see you.
Why is he so low?
Speak up.
So how's Florida?
Oh, it's beautiful.
She won't turn off the air conditioning.
It's very hot.
In New York, you blasted the heat. In Florida, you blast the air conditioning. You are never happy.
Look who's talking.
You are a pain in the ass.
You know, we're trying to talk to Pappy, and all you're doing is complaining.
You're the one complaining.
Mom.
So when I'm dead, shut off the AC.
Dad.
Well, at least I'll save some money on the electric bill.
So, honey, have you thought about moving down here anymore?
I love that. It was so funny.
It was.
It was great. That was filmed in my living room, and we had another scene, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you and I got really, really beautiful accolades from people who saw it. They were like, we wanted more of the mother and father, especially at the very, very end. I can't tell you what happens, but they wanted to see, I guess, our reaction to what happened to our son. But
hey,
it
listen,
was a great film. George Massimillo.
Shout
out to
George is watching, maybe a part 2 of It's Still Love, and it focuses on the parents.
It's still love, or they're still together.
Right.
I don't know.
It's still love. I would call it It's Still Love.
I like that. I like that, Frank. Yeah, it was funny because they were asking about seeing us more, but it was so much fun. And again, George Massimillo for giving us the opportunity. It was great. Yeah. Hey, listen, let's take my last break, and when we come back, more with Frank. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hey everybody, it's Theresa from Tea Time. What's my show about? I interview people in the entertainment industry, producers, directors, actors, and guess what? My show is on every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Channel 20 on Optimum TV. So tune in because it's fun, interesting, and exciting.
Doc, who's the best comedian you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best actress you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best cast member in Bad Boys?
Theresa Farrow.
Who's got the best radio?
Theresa Farrow.
Doc, who's your favorite guinea?
Theresa Farrow.
Who are you loving right now?
Theresa Farrow.
All right, Doc, I love you too, baby.
Love you as always.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time with Frank Fiella. He's an actor, writer, comedian, and my on-screen hubby. Shout out to Ann watching, and Michael Norton, and Bruno, and Greg, and Michelle. Everyone watching, thank you. Please like Tea Time, please share it. So then we did Graveyard Medium also together. We had no scenes together, but we were in that. That's also Maria Filippone, and that was a wonderful short that we did. You played Joe.
Yes.
And the hubby, the husband.
Yes.
And The Family's Feud.
The Family's Feud.
Now, you played Nick the Barber.
I did.
And there are times when we land roles, and there's times that we end up on the cutting floor.
And unfortunately, they had to cut that scene.
Yes, but you did your scene with Joe D'Onofrio.
Yes. I was the barber. He was sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
And in the scene, he's talking all big and tough.
Right.
And he was supposed to get whacked in the chair.
Yeah.
The guy comes in, and I just step back, and then they stick an ice pick in his ear.
And that was with Stu and Bruce Sosha.
Yeah, Stu.
So shout out to them.
Unfortunately, and I apologize, Stu, if you're watching. I don't recall his last name, but Bruce Sosha.
I'm not going to say it right. So
well, that's the other day. I don't know
leave
if
it
I'm going
alone.
to say it.
And then, okay, so now we have like 3 minutes left. So we're in something together coming up called It's All About Me, which is with Millie Michaels and, again, Maria Filippone.
Yes.
We're going to be filming that hopefully in August.
It's supposed to be
sometime.
August 12th, I believe, is the unofficial film date.
Okay, well, I'll be filming my scene another day because I won't be here.
Yeah.
But we're not in any scenes together,
No.
but we're in the project together. So I wanted to, give a shout out to Millie
Yes.
and Maria about that as well. And what else do you have coming up, my friend? Because we have 3 minutes left. What do you got?
I submitted an audition today for for the Equalizer. Yes.
Yes. Fingers crossed, legs crossed, eyes crossed, cross everything.
I'm having a good year with auditions.
Oh wait, commercial! Hello, you were in a major commercial that everybody and their mother sees you in. Would you like to tell everyone what the commercial is?
That's the Whites in Luxembourg asbestos commercial.
Actually, we did a commercial. We didn't pull it for the show, but we did that cleaning air duct commercial.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
MCN air duct.
Yes. And where we play husband and wife in that with our son.
Did.
Yeah. And Steve Alive is in that.
And Steve Alive is in that. And Pat Marone and John LaRocchia.
Yeah, and we had a great time.
Yes.
So tell me about these 3 things that are coming.
So I have a comedy show for Laughter Saves Lives, a great organization.
Yep.
And that will be at Domenico's on July 12th. I believe it's $65 per person, but includes dinner and the show.
Okay.
And then on July 13th, I have a show at Governor's with, it was a good lineup, but Sekou Ali, who's also a police officer.
Yes.
We did not work together as cops, but we got to know each other through comedy.
Yeah.
So he's producing that. That's at Governor's in the Giggle Room on July 13th.
Yeah.
Tickets for that one need to be purchased in advance if you want to go. So I
just go to their website. Yeah.
And then on the 18th, I'm doing a show at the Gaston Street Pub.
Oh.
I believe that's Patchogue or Hot Pog. I'm not exactly sure which one. And that's with Terry Perrette. Terry Perrette is a very, very funny comedy hypnotist. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he does his routine.
I want to be hypnotized.
Well,
I want to hate.
Come on down.
I want to hate chocolate, and I want.
Well, no, he doesn't do that kind
of. And
I
don't want to be claustrophobic
no,
anymore.
he doesn't do that.
What kind does he do?
He does comedy. So he has
called comedy.
Well,
right.
He doesn't do behavior modification.
I need
he
that.
can, but that's not what his thing is.
All right.
So he has scenarios.
Cool.
He has scenarios, and he gets people from the audience to come out, and I really, it's definitely different. For a different type of show.
Yeah.
I'll be doing opening the show,
good.
10, 15 minutes of comedy
Nice.
and bringing him on.
Good. A lot of great places in Patchogue out there.
Yes.
A lot of
yes.
good places.
So that's what I got going on.
That's good. I'm excited. I'm excited. Listen, oh my God, this goes so fast.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, we had a good time.
I did. I always do. Anytime we get together, we have
It's true.
fun.
It's so true. Well, listen, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having
and
me.
catching up.
Let's not wait another 5 years.
Oh no, we're so not. We're so not. We'll be working together anyway. Listen, I want to thank everyone for watching Tea Time. I appreciate it, your support. Remember, tell everyone you love them, and I'll see you next week, everybody. Ciao.